Welcome to PatientX Pulse, where we're making the heartbeat of healthcare marketing stronger, one episode at a time. Join us on this journey as we pulse through the veins of healthcare marketing, delivering insights, strategies, and results that matter for patient experience.
Hello, and welcome to the PatientX Podcast. We have our episode 2 of our AI series, The Human Touch in an AI World. Today, we're going to dive into the importance of human interaction in the healthcare and how it can coexist with AI. This episode is going to address concerns about AI replacing the human touch in healthcare. So with that, let's go. All right, today I've got Starsky Robinson with us. Hey, Starsky, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well, doing good. It is a Friday.
Woo! I'm so excited. We're still moving a college kid into school this weekend, so lots of great things going on. Wish AI could help us with that, moving a refrigerator up to the dorm, but as you know, still got its limitations. So
there's that limitations, but then could a AI or a robot give your kid a good hug?
Right.
For the end of the day. Speaking about the human element, the human touch to everything. So it's the emotional aspect of, handing your kid off to, this big college campus, and hopefully did you shed a tear while you walk away?
No tears. Pretty proud. Pretty independent kids, and they both got a good direction, and they know what they want to do, and they're going after it. So yeah, I don't even think they looked back when we left. So
and then speaking about the human touch and how AI connects, you know that your kids are walking into a college campus now that even the campuses are trying to figure out how to use AI, because the kids,
right,
our kids are going to use AI to help them with their work, to help them with their studies. And when we start talking about AI within the business place, this business space, and AI in the medical facilities, is it, and this is the question we're answering today, is it going to replace people? Is it going to take away that human element of walking into a situation that's normally emotional, like taking your kid to college or walking into a hospital, and replace it with a robot being or AI being that's non-emotional?
right. Well, I think that's the thing, is that, there's this fear out there right now about AI, right? It's going to take over everyone's jobs. I hear people in healthcare talking about it all the time, talking to doctors, and administrators, and they're really worried, like, what does this mean? There's a lot of fear out there. I actually read a great article in Becker's this last month, and, there's a lot of fear, right? But, there's a lot of benefits to it too. And like, to that point about college, I mean, like, colleges are embracing it. So if colleges are embracing it, that means that is going to be the future, right? So, I think we need to look at what the benefits are going to be of AI, but then also to kind of decrease people's fear about AI, because of the fact that there are some things that, from a healthcare perspective, especially in marketing, that we can consider. So, I mean, today I'd like to, kind of get into like the top 5 things that, still needs that human touch, but also the benefits of it, right? So, let's talk about the benefits real quick. So, there's a couple of different things that we know that's happening right now when it comes to healthcare marketing and AI. Number one, AI, has personalization. AI can analyze vast amounts of, the patient data to personalize your marketing messages. You have the healthcare recommendations. But, this personal touch can really lead to more effective engagement and improve patient satisfaction. I mean, that's what everyone's after, right? So,
Yes.
that's like
Efficiencies
one of the top
in
things.
process.
Right, exactly. Efficiency.
Yep.
It creates a lot of efficiency. I mean, AI automates the routine marketing tasks, like, the data analyzation, lead generation, appointment scheduling, It really just frees up the healthcare marketer and healthcare team's time so they can focus on more strategic planning and creative aspects of their campaigns. So lots of benefits there too. But the other thing is too with AI is that it really can improve your targeting, right? I mean, it can really segment out your whole patient population based on the
Yes.
demographics, the behavior, the preferences. I mean, it really can create precision targeting that ensures that your marketing efforts reach the right audience and has the right message. You
Yes,
know?
that is correct. I was reading a Forbes article that came out in July where Amazon is getting into, of course, Amazon's getting into the AI for healthcare, and they're
Yeah,
creating or partnering up to create an AI platform that actually helps the process of documentation. So AI will take it's not replacing people, but it's helping to make it more sufficient when it comes to the process of intake and taking on that information. And then, normally when you walk into a doctor or dentist office, you'll see a office manager taking that file, putting it in a folder. Hey, can you pull that file out? Well, imagine where AI comes to play to make that more efficient. So no one's file information is getting lost or getting mismanaged or even being walked out the space when it shouldn't be. So, the criminal aspect is making more efficiency of making sure that, it dilutes any type of illegal activity that could happen mistakenly. So, the world is, well, we're moving to AI. You can't stop that train, but it's just making that office manager be able to work more efficiently instead of just kind
exactly.
of like, yeah,
And that's one of the other benefits, right? The whole data-driven insight piece. It really gives you the insights to help, the healthcare marketer and the healthcare teams to really make more informed decisions, optimize their strategies, which then leads to what? Cost reduction. And that's a big thing right now with a lot of healthcare facilities is they have higher supply costs, they have higher staffing costs. Like they're burdened by all these different problems because of the high cost of everything. And by being able to, use AI to really automate tasks and improve their targeting, AI can help reduce the cost. It can help reduce your marketing costs, which will then increase the return on your investment. So I think this is, especially important in the healthcare industry where the budgets can be tight. So AI can, provide you with that. So, and the other thing is too, is like, unlike, you have team members that come in and they work 8 hours to 12 hours, you have AI at your fingertips 24/7, it has 24/7 availability.
mm,
So, I think that's a great thing too. AI can act as a virtual assistant. Um,
yes.
so, I think that's another benefit of AI. The other thing is too, is, a lot of people are touching on this and, really worried about what it means. And we'll get into this a little bit more of how that human element goes into this. But another benefit is that it can also take that data and, really give early detection and prevention when it comes to your patient, right? The AI algorithms can analyze patient data. They can identify individuals at risk of certain health conditions, and healthcare marketers and teams, and providers can use that information to promote preventative measures and early, intervention. So
Now,
it's going to improve that patient experience.
so Michael, this
Yeah,
is a good conversation to have because I know that we have business professionals watching this podcast and listening to it, but we also have the people who are patients, the actual
right.
consumers. Um, as a consumer, and I'm putting my feet in socks and shoes as a patient. If I was, say, diabetic, why should I be excited about this? Why should I be excited about AI being able to, predict or anything like that for me? What could AI for a patient do for me if a medical professional is utilizing it? How can it impact me in a positive?
Well, I think that part of that is like when you're going to the doctor, even for your yearly checkups, you're having all your blood results, tracked in your records and everything like that. And basically, they're always asking questions about like, what vitamins are you taking? What are you eating? Are you drinking alcohol? Are you a smoker? All of that data is in your medical records. So, AI can, start to take a look at years of history of your medical records and be able to analyze that compared to other patients like you that
Mhm.
may be 10 years older but now have developed diabetes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So I mean it's really going to help the medical professional be able to have some additional insights, but it's not going to replace the human element, and that's what we're going to get into, right?
Yep. Yep.
So maybe let's jump into that, because I mean I think that's the thing is right there we're talking about you know something that is, it sounds like it's replacing a doctor having to go through your medical records, but what it's doing, it's really enhancing, right? So like if we start talking about the top 5 things that I believe still need that human element. Number one is AI enhances, but it does not replace that human expertise, right? AI in healthcare can process vast amounts of data and assist in decision making, but it still requires the human healthcare professional to interpret the data and apply their medical knowledge and their empathy, right? So it doesn't
That's correct.
remove that relationship.
So you still need that human person. You still need that professional to analyze the information that AI is being pushed out. But then AI is only a protocol or a knowledge-based system that pulls from information that is given. So it still requires a human to give it the most accurate information and the historical accurate information so it can pull the right results. Is that correct?
Yep, exactly.
Right.
That's the way
So
I see it. But the other thing is too is like, it makes me, the second thing that's, on what I think is another important thing is that, especially in healthcare, before AI was even there, you had your ethical and regulatory oversight committees, right? They were always there looking at everything. So like while AI can automate many of these aspects in healthcare, the ethical considerations and the regulatory compliance still demand the human oversight as well. And what that does, that really ensures the patient privacy, and that they're maintaining ethical advertising practices, that they're maintaining ethical practices in general. And all of this, they're human driven responsibilities. AI cannot
Mike,
drive that. So
Michael, this is sounding like you remember the movie The Matrix?
yeah.
The series started with the machines are coming to take life away and what it feels to be human. And then, I stop in a coffee shop, Starbucks, and I have conversations with people about AI. Like, I'm not touching it. It's going to destroy the human element. But I'm like, well, if you don't touch it, then you won't be able to do jobs that the jobs are going to require. But when I look at the movie The Matrix, if you ever watched The Matrix, it's like the end of the movie. And sorry for spoilers if you haven't watched The Matrix by now. But the end of the movie is like people need machines, and machines need people. They can't work silo, otherwise, machines would die. The
Right,
machines
exactly.
cannot live without the machines needed humans more than needed anything else. So that's what it sounds like. But sorry for distracting, but it's one of those things that like you cannot remove the human element from all of this stuff. And it's just one of those things like we're on a digital device right now recording this, we're on the computers. And even our computers has some limited AI and advancement of AI. We're utilizing technology more than ever before just to do our jobs more proficiently. Even
Right.
though as and this so you talked about a couple of things here already: the human element, the need for a professional to digest the information that AI is spitting out. And then, of course, we also concluded that we need to be able, a human needs to be able to give it the most AI, the most accurate information. Um, where else? Where else is most important that we need to know about it?
Well, another thing is, the whole personalization side of things, because, you know, you see your patients every single day, you live in the community, you know and understand what's going on in that community and with those individuals better than anyone else. AI cannot read the human mind, the human emotion. So, I mean, AI can personalize, and I'm talking here from like a marketing perspective. AI can personalize marketing messages based on data, but it's still, but it's the humans who truly understand that emotional and psychological nuances of what the patient needs. I mean, that human touch is so critical in tailoring the messaging and experiences effectively. So that's another place, that the human element come to play. AI cannot replace that. Again, I mean, can't stress this enough. I believe AI right now is just really to create efficiency and help with more, accurate outcomes. But that's a really important thing to me, is that, when we think about like maybe building trust and building relationships, I mean, trust is a fundamental thing in healthcare, and it's primarily established through those personal interactions. And, yes, AI can assist in patient engagement, but the human touch and communication, empathy, I mean, and building those relationships, I mean, that's irreplaceable. And when you talk to patients, I mean, that's what they want, right? They want that bedside manner. They want that personal relationship with their healthcare provider. And that's something that AI cannot replace.
No matter if you own a dentist, if you own a dental practice, if you are, surgical or cancer professional based, what we're learning here today is that AI is a tool that's going to enhance how you do intake, how you track data, statistical data for individual patients. But at the end of the day, basically that human element, because I, as an individual, don't want to come in and be treated as a number when I come to your facility. I want to be treated as me, Starsky, and I have all this emotions. Or if I bring my child or my spouse, uh, I want to make sure they are treated as an individual. Um, Looking at this space of AI when it comes from a marketing or a kind of a informational aspect, of course, we're talking about it enhances clinical productivity. AI can generate notes. It can make it easier for reference and editing, finalizing that report for the patient. But then, of course, the human elements that human professional needs to be able to customize that information to that individual. It also it can simplify implementations of certain things. It can integrate within your customer support system, chat, especially if you have a website. Hopefully, by now, that you have to have a website in today's world if you have a medical practice. But when people come to your website, the first thing they're doing is they're looking for information. So utilizing AI to have those chat features. So if an individual has questions, they can just go right into the chat, and the AI can respond back with frequently asked questions or information, because it has that data to pull that the human gave to it. And then, of course, for me, the number one important thing that I'm looking at AI is the safeguarding patients' information, privacy usage of HIPAA, eligible services, how AI can be utilized for that. And that is a place that I even asked you, Michael.
Yeah.
How can AI safeguards patients' information, especially patients' privacy usage when it comes to HIPAA eligible services? There's a lot of human elements to that, because the human element is safeguarding me, the patient, information. I don't need my information being used against me or to be used for individual marketing purpose. I want my information so that you can help me. How can AI play a role in that? And then where does the human element come to that?
Well, so let's talk about HIPAA. I mean,
Mhm.
brought it up. So I mean, this is like always a scary thing for people, especially when it comes to digital data, right? And in the most like in the last couple of years, you know, Google, Meta, all of those different companies that offer like retargeting,
Mhm.
how do they do their retargeting? They drop a pixel on the person's computer, right? So they can, monitor like where they're going, their interests, all their information. I mean, even on your website, like what pages are they going to? Like going to a page that, says, I'm looking for knee replacement, right?
Mhm.
Well, if you're tracking, you have all that person's information, their name, their contact information, their, behaviors on the internet. You have their interest, which is on your website that says that, this person is looking at knee replacement and then they become a patient because we track that too, right? Through CRMs.
Mhm.
So this could be a real ethical issue by dropping pixels on people's computers, because technically, if that person becomes a patient through your website, technically that could be a HIPAA violation.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
gray area, but we're seeing lawsuits pop up every day where, someone was on someone's site, like getting their account for, looking at their records, but because they went to their website, this pixel's now tracking all their behavior. And then the next day they're getting served all these ads on diabetes or whatever it is that they may have, and automatically it's sending red flags.
Mhm.
So another benefit of AI is that AI can take all of that data without actually identifying the actual person
Mhm.
in that area, and create demographics for you for your retargeting without the use of I shouldn't say retargeting, but your advertising
Mhm.
digitally without being at risk of any kind of like HIPAA violation or something like that. So that's where I see the benefit.
Mhm.
Now, where does that human element come in? Knowing your patient,
Yeah.
knowing that the majority of the patients that you have come in, at this certain demographic, is 55 to 65, um, high risk of diabetes. There's a higher risk of diabetes in your area, and then you can target your marketing towards those individuals, by using the demographic features in these platforms instead of using pixels. Is it as accurate as delivering it to your actual patient? No, but it does give you the opportunity to advertise to the right people.
All right.
So, but that takes that human element too, and knowledge and expertise to do that. But you can
So
utilize AI to pull that data.
so for those professionals out there, and I hear them, I'll
Yeah.
be in rooms where professionals will be so happy to say, I don't use AI. I'm not utilizing AI in my company practice, and I'm proud of it. Um, and my mind goes immediately like, how can you be so proud of not to use a technology that can enhance the way
Yeah.
you do business, not only the way you do business, because sometimes look at business as just pure profit, but the way that you can help a customer or a patient more efficiently, more effectively. In my mind, it goes to there are health conditions that we have today by utilizing technology such as AI that can be eradicated tomorrow because now we're able to pull all this information global data information into a platform or to a technology that can analyze it. Of course, there's a human element of it, we're analyzing it. And just imagine that, diabetes is cured, by the end of this year because we utilize AI technology with the smartest brains, you know, in the world to officially eradicate diabetes um, down the line. Now, I'm not saying I'm a diabetic. I'm just talking about diabetes because it's something that everyone in my family has, and I'm just like would imagine that would be able to dissipate. And I watch my family members go to their doctors, and they want to be treated. They want the right information. They want to be able to manage their diabetes, and it's a challenge. So the human element is there. Right now, we're talking about the human element from my mindset is like the professionals. But what about the human element from a person who is like in an entry level role at the company? Or it's just the person that's just like, my job is to work the front office. I'm not the say highest paying person, but I'm still the most important person because the first face they see is me. Um, where is the human element? Will AI replace that human element from that person you see in the front office? Will I see a robot in the front office, or does that human still need to be there?
Interesting question. I mean, I think that's open to discussion because you kind of you're already starting to see that happen. If you think about it, a lot of our clients have iPads. So like when you first walk into their place, you put in all of your information, your time, like to check in. So technically, AI is kind of already registering you, providing your information and taking it to the next step, creating more efficiency. But, after you check in, there's still that human element of someone coming out to get you and to welcome you, still taking all the vitals and everything. I mean, maybe one day, I can see it. I mean, it's going to be, you step into a little booth, it does all of your vitals. But I mean, that's not just AI, that's the technology world. So I mean, technology is here, it's not going away. As we know, there was a big fear that technology was going to take away everyone's jobs, all the factory jobs, everything else. But I mean, that's a great example, is that humans are still needed in factory jobs to operate, maintain, all of the machines. So I don't think that it's going to take it away. I think it's just going to build more opportunity. But I do believe that, especially like we talked about when we first started, was that colleges are embracing this and teaching the kids all AI. And the reason for that is because that is going to be the future. But careers and new opportunities, I believe, are going to be built off of that,
Oh, for sure. 1,000,000% for sure. As a marketer, a digital strategist, one thing I noticed my world has changed dramatically this year alone is utilizing AI platforms to enhance marketing campaigns, downright to even doing video. What we're doing right now, video, I'm utilizing AI tools that's going to remove the ums, the A's, and all that you might see. On top of that, it's going to even, the eyes. I mean, there's AI tools that I could be looking this way, but the AI registers my eyes and makes me focus right here. It's amazing to me because I'm like, there's so many times where when from a marketing perspective, not only the data and information I'm trying to achieve, the copyright. It's making my copywriting more efficient. I use tools like Grammarly. I'll probably put them in the descriptions of the video, some of these tools that we're using. Grammarly, of course, ChatGPT, a couple other tools. But it does not take the human element. There still needs to be me to be able to understand how to use these tools efficiently. AI is not replacing me because, one, I need to know what tools to use, when to use them, how to take the information out of it, and then how to make something that you, the end person, you see the needle being moved for you, wherever your goal is. Is it drive more patients? Is it to be more brand awareness? Is it to drive positive sentiment? Um, these tools are just they're enhancing the way I do things. Where back in the day, I mean, back in the day to me, it's like 5 years ago. Back in the day, I had to do a lot more to achieve the goal, and now it's making my world a lot more sufficient. But at the same time, I'm finding new ways to utilize these tools to help brand marketing reach their goals.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is too is, in a lot of surgeons use robotics now for surgeries. But you still have, I've talked to a lot of different surgeons about this, like technology in healthcare, not necessarily just AI, but, but I think it goes hand in hand, right? But from their opinion is like, they won't use robotics, not because they don't believe in the technology, because they don't believe in the feel. So like when you're doing surgery on a patient and you're actually there doing it with your hand, you're able to feel, touch, have that actual, human connection to it that they believe provides like a better, outcome for their patients. So, a lot of it's going to be in the belief system of like what they believe there's opportunity for and not. But, again, AI, it's going to need that human touch no matter what, but it can create more efficiency or accuracy in the work that you're doing to also assist in that better patient experience. So,
Okay. So what you're telling us is that everyone should just go watch the last movie, The Matrix, and that's what the world's gonna be like. Now, I'm so playing right now, but it's just one of those things of the human. What you're basically saying, Michael, is that the human element, the doctor that can feel and make those course corrections, because that human element is needed to be able to do that. A machine could not make today. A machine could not change or move based on eyesight, feeling, emotions, if they're making a crucial surgical situation. If something might happen, if emergency happened right then and there, at this time, a machine could not course correct based on what's happening. It takes that doctor physically being there doing it. Same thing when it comes to AI. Tomorrow, I mean, if tomorrow Elon says Twitter's no longer Twitter, it's X, and AI still has facts, historical data, it doesn't have the updated data saying, Twitter's no longer Twitter, it's X, it could not make that course adjustments. Even though that did happen, we're making those adjustments as humans right now, saying, all right, it's no longer Twitter, even though we say Twitter, it's X, and we'll course correct and move forward.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that, when it all first came out, even like AI and stuff like that did not recognize X. It still calls
my
it
chat
Twitter.
GPT does not recognize X. I have to go and say, hey, chat GPT, Twitter is now known X. That's X, and that helps me write some of the copy or do some of the transcripts I'm writing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I mean, again, you're gonna have to have that human proof. Look for those, especially in healthcare. I mean, they're gonna have to, really look at it from that ethical perspective, but they're gonna have to look at it from a regulatory perspective and just making sure that the information that they're putting out and the data that they're collecting, is compliant. So, I mean, that is just always gonna, I believe, take a human element, because as you know, Chat GPT, I mean, that's not live data. I mean, it goes back to what, 2021?
2021, yeah.
I mean, so if you're using that, I mean, automatically, if you want any current affairs or anything that's, right now, you're either going to have to, add additional plugins. I mean, nothing is perfect yet, right?
Nothing's perfect when
it comes to AI. So you're just going to have that AI, not AI, but you're just going to have that human element. So now I
So
will say though, don't watch that movie Megan
oh, Megan, I just
if you
watched
don't want to
that
be
a
scared by
month ago. It's
AI.
funny because my daughter has a toy and it's an AI toy. It's a little robot and
Yep,
it learns. It
it
learns the
does. Yeah.
environment and everything else. It won't be able to do your homework. So,
Yep.
but it is a fun little toy until it becomes annoying. But Michael, we're talking to two people here. We're talking to professionals here who have their businesses that we work with from a patient X perspective. And then we're also talking to the average person who is going to go into a medical practice, who's going to go into a medical place, um, and they're going to want the services needed. Uh, what what do we want people to walk away with today? If we can hand them a document like or a package, here goes what you learned today. What can we let them walk away with today in today's podcast? Oops, my AI is waking up. Let me make sure.
Well, to kind of summarize it up, is this is the way I look at it, is that AI is a powerful tool in healthcare marketing and in the healthcare space, but it should complement human expertise, ethics, empathy, rather than replace them. I mean, the human touch remains essential for effective and ethical healthcare marketing and healthcare, practice. So what I would say is embrace it and just let it help create more efficiency for you in the areas that you may have, um, worries or needs, such as, creating more efficiency in, like scheduling, for, the healthcare provider, scheduling, the information that it can pull when you're trying to research diagnosis, or from a healthcare marketing standpoint, that targeting, like what patients need your service. Um, what are the, the demographics of the people that are at the highest risk? What information and educational resources do they need or are they searching for that you can use to help better inform them of their decisions and to decrease the worry and stress that people have when they are in, when they're in need of these services? I mean, nobody wants to go to the hospital or to a healthcare facility. It's usually a need, right? And
Right.
with that need, unfortunately, comes worry. But from the patient perspective, if they know that you're using technology to give them the best results and the best patient experience, it can alleviate a lot of that worry and, provide them with the things that they truly need instead of going to Google to research everything. They
Which I
know that
do.
you're using all the data of the world to create the best experience.
That's a good takeaway. I know, for example, the first thing a lot of me and my friends we do, especially if you're feeling sick, or the first thing you do is you Google it. Just go Google and like, all right, I feel this way, and that's crazy. You're saying I feel, which is a human situation, this way, and then you go to Google just trying to see what other people have written about it and how AI can collaboratively AI uses AI technology, it can
Right.
enhance that, but still, it's going to take a professional to say, all right, based on the data, based on everything else, and based on your medical history, this is
Right.
why you feel this way. Uh,
And see, and
so,
that's the thing too, is like when you think about things like Google and
mm,
you hear, if I had $1 for every time I heard one of our clients say, man, the client got diagnosed by Dr. Google and then they came in and then we figured out what the real issue was. I mean, I'd be a millionaire, right? But here's the thing though, too, is like, that's the opportunity as well. Google takes all the information based off of keywords and everything that people are searching for and articles that people are posting. I mean, which is misinformation, It can be some good information, but sometimes that gets buried. But that's how it creates an algorithm of like, what does it want to show first? And what are people reacting to the most, right? Well, the thing with AI is it's taking the data of actual patient medical records and giving you the data of, like based on these 5, symptoms that this patient had, here's some possibilities of what this could be, right? But it's not based off of somebody who's trying to be a doctor. It's not based off of marketers like us. It's not based off of content writers who are just trying to get, search
to read it. Yeah.
Yeah, or one person's experience where they're like, I had this and this is what my doctor said it was, and then another one says I had this and this is what my doctor says it was, and it could be the same thing, but their language is not the same. So, I mean, AI can really set people's mind at ease that when they come in, that you're going to have the most up-to-date data based on actual healthcare records instead of opinions.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So they're going to trust the doctor now more than they are Google because the data shows it. And it's not just
customized to you. It's customized to you, the patient, based on your historical and your family. This is where I get excited. Your family history. This is based on the information you give based on your family history, especially if your family goes to professional this practice and now you have your grandmother, your grandfather, your moms, your dads, and they have all this historical data, and it's pulled out immediately through the technologies we use, such as AI. Now I'm able to get the most accurate information about my diagnosis versus, I'm not going to name anything else, but that .dm medical on site where anyone can write an article for. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the other thing is too is if you think about why people search on Google, they have a fear.
Yes.
And then a lot of the times they're trying to figure it out before they go to a facility because of cost. Right?
Yes.
So, and that's what we're trying to show people here today is that AI can create efficiency and more accuracy in your actual operation of the facility, that hopefully, I mean, this is the ideal perspective, is that it decreases the cost for the patient, but then it increases your ROI. And
so
that's the dream. That's the dream. So
that is a dream. Well, that's not just a dream. That's what we're working towards. And I know here at PatientX, we are all about learning how to utilize AI from a marketing perspective to help build out our PatientX score, so it's most accurate for our clients that are utilizing it. So when it comes to just having that human element to it, one thing I learned today, especially this having our conversation, is that it's not going to replace the people. It's going to enhance the way we do things. I mean, yes, the landscape of the medical facilities when you walk through the door may change, may not. We will see. I walked into a bank the other day. I walked into 2 different banks the other day. One bank had a teller and everyone around. The other bank didn't have anything besides a big red button to press if you want to speak to them. But they still did their jobs efficiently. So we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. Well, with that, let's just touch base and summarize this a little bit. Some of the key things that we talked about today were the benefits. So just to kind of reiterate on those. Number one, personalization, efficiency, improved targeting, data-driven insights, cost reduction, 24/7 availability, early detection and prevention, compliance and the ethical marketing piece to it, the enhanced customer experience. But the other thing that we didn't mention was the competitive advantage. Don't forget that, because if you're embracing AI, you can create more effective marketing strategy to gain that competitive edge and make it more personalized and efficient. More over than the traditional methods. But then the thing is that all of these things need that human element, right? So that, the top 5 that we talked about today was, that AI enhances, but it does not replace that human expertise, right? And then number 2 would be that ethical and regulatory oversight. Need the human element there. Number 3 would be that personalization. The personalization requires that human understanding. Again, human element. Number 4, building trust in relationships. Number 5, the adaptation of the context and the culture. All that can only be provided by you. So with that, that's how we believe that you can bring that human element into AI. We hope that everybody embraces AI and uses it to create more efficiency and optimization in their facilities. And we hope that, patients feel more secure and just, less fear going in, knowing that their medical facility that they're going to be going into has the latest technology to help them get the best results. So with that, Starsky, do you have anything else you want to add before we close today?
In our first episode, Michael, we talked about, is AI a friend or foe? And we concluded that it is a friend. It's not, technically a friend. It's more of it's a tool that can help enhance the way you do things. So it's a benefit. Today's episode, we talked about the human element of it. It does not replace humans at all. We concluded with that at the end of this show. I guess the next thing I want to talk about, hopefully in our next episode, is AI and medical specialties. Who's safe when it comes to the specialties of AI? What I mean by who's safe, we talked a little bit today about HIPAA compliance, how AI can safeguard. I would love to talk about in our next episode is like the impact of AI on various medical specialties, if that's something you're interested in.
Let's do it.
All right.
So that'll be our 3rd episode in our series here on AI. So with that, I'd like to thank you, Starsky, for joining us today and being a part of this conversation. Looking forward to the episode 3 of this series. Just remember, if you guys get a chance, definitely like us and leave comments below if there's other things that you want to hear us talk about. Another thing that we'll do too is we talked about, the benefits. We talked about that human element, the top 5 things that we believe that still need that human element. Within the next couple of days, you'll see a blog post out there where we'll kind of cover all of these as well. So if you didn't take notes, it'll be available on our website at PatientXAgency.com. And with that, we'd like to thank you guys for joining us and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. And thank you for all our listeners who are listening.
Thanks, guys.